Lil Nas X entering his Christian era has exposed everything wrong with the Christian community and the secular society, and we're here to talk about it. If I mention Lil Nas X to a Christian, that name might sound unfamiliar, and if you do recognize him, it's most likely not for a good reason. And why? You might ask, because back in 2021, Lil Nas X promoted a brand of satanic shoes and proceeded to produce an album full of satanic references in it, and worse yet, blasphemous connotations, most notably him falling from heaven to hell on a stripper pole and him twerking for the devil, or him making out with the serpent in the Garden of Eden. And yet on 30th November, just a few days ago, Lil Nas X, through a TikTok teaser clip, asked if we would mind him entering what he would call his Christian era. And my goodness, that sparked a wave of controversy. Beginning with celebrities like Tyrese, who wrote, "You're gonna learn to stop playing with God. God is not to be played with. From shoes with devil signs and devil's blood in the soul, we can all change, I get it, but I feel a way about people making a mockery of Jesus." And Holy Gabbana, who also commented, "If Lil Nas X wants to be gay, cool. Just don't title yourself Christian and make others believe it's okay for us to live in habitual and intentional sin. People deserve the truth, and I stand on the word of God." And that is true. We should not mock Jesus, neither should we insinuate that living in hypocrisy is okay. And if you want proof of that, check out this video where I analyze what happens to people who mock God. And a quick disclaimer, it's not good. But then the obvious question becomes, just how did Lil Nas X push for hypocrisy, or how did he mock God by simply asking if we would mind him entering his Christian era? Well, let us look at the video he just posted. In the video he says, "Father, stretch my hands, the lonely road seems to last the longest. Help me with my plans, everything seems to go nowhere." He then asks God to free him from all the pity and envy in him and calls on angels to help him when he's hopeless. So again, what's wrong with the message? Aside from the fact he's calling on angels and not Jesus, which I can let slide since he's just entering into Christianity, there's basically nothing wrong with the message, except everything is wrong with the message. If you look at the video, Lil Nas X wears a shirt written, "If God doesn't exist, then who is laughing at us?" He wears that while seemingly asking God for help. And onto that, the very caption that says, "Y'all mind if I get into my Christian era," does not communicate a change in belief, but a beginning of a phase in his artistic career, a phase that he can live at his own convenience. And as if that's not enough, based on what he's wearing, Lil Nas X does not seem to want to leave homosexuality. And when he was questioned on all of this, these were Lil Nas X's responses. On him using this as a gimmick, he responds, "Y'all see everything I do as a gimmick," he said, "when in reality I'm just an artist expressing myself in different ways. Whether I'm a cowboy, gay, satanic, or now Christian. Y'all find a problem. Y'all don't police nobody else's art like mine. Y'all hate me because I'm fun, cute, and petite." And in this response, Lil Nas X confirms that to him, this Christianity thing is nothing more but a face, an expression, an actor's role in a play, not a belief. But in the next response is where things get a little bit spicy, because when Lil Nas X is called out on trying to be a Christian and gay at the same time, this is the censored version of what Lil Nas X says. And he says, "Making Christian music does not mean I can't be gay anymore. The two are mutually exclusive. I'm allowed to get on my knee." You know what? No. Basically, he says in a very dirty way that he is allowed to be homosexual and be a Christian at the same time, which obviously communicates his warped perception of Christianity. But this is where things go wrong, and I'm not talking about Lil Nas X, we'll talk about him later. I'm talking about Christians who respond to him. Like this rapper who wrote, produced, and dropped a diss track on Lil Nas X and called him a gay demon. I say this because as Christians, arguing with Lil Nas X isn't the answer. He's either looking for help but doesn't know how, of which, if that was the case, would be guilty of blocking him from the truth, or he's playing some 4D level PR chess and he will get his controversy anyway. Remember, his last album release was over 2 years ago. So what do? I honestly understand why the rapper wanted to release the diss track. He rightly called out Lil Nas X on his hypocrisy. I also understand why some Christians might be angry that someone who promoted such satanic things in the past might all of a sudden want to enter Christianity, and as a face for that matter. Your feelings are valid, but believe me, that is not what you've been called to do. The disciples back in Luke chapter 9 had a similar feeling when Jesus Christ went to Samaria and was mocked and not received as the Messiah. The disciples asked, "Lord, do you want us to command fire to come down from heaven and consume them, just as Elijah did?" But Jesus turned and rebuked them and said, "You do not know what manner of spirit you are of, for the Son of Man did not come to destroy men's life, but to save them." And they went to another village. We have to remember that it was Christ's intention that all men may be saved. And even though someone did atrocious things in the past, as Tyrese said, we have to give space for change. Who knows, maybe as Lil Nas X waltzes around his so-called Christian era, maybe, just maybe, he will find the truth. It should be our joy that a sinner is opening his arms up to Christianity, and our prayer that he finds the truth. But does that mean we should just let someone mock our faith? And to that I say, that's not our battle. If Lil Nas X chooses to go that route, the best we can do is warn him, not abuse him. And if you've seen my video on what exactly happens to people who mock God, Christians included, you know full well that God isn't so weak as to need people to defend his name. He will defend it himself, and he will do so jealously. And that being said, it is my prayer that Lil Nas X finds Christ. And not only that, but through Christ that he may redeem as many as, if not more, than those he led astray. My name is Roy Mwenda, and this is The King Christian. I hope to see you on the next one.